All right, Shalom. I want to start off as always by giving all praises and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rekha HaKodash, Dabanazan to the apostles, the elders, and the bishops of Great Millstone. I want to send much love unto the brothers out there doing the work in truth and sincerity. And I also want to send peace and blessings unto the believers of the hopeful elect. And in this morning's lesson, I wanted to do a response unto this video here done by the Apostle Sahar. And as you can see, the title of his video reads, "Oh boy, Bish Nate now says all the nations will be done away with." And so I just wanted to do a response to this man and throw in my 2 cents, because that doctrine is not true. It's not biblical. And this is a lie. Okay? And I'm going to go through the scriptures to show you without a shadow of a doubt that the other nations will not be done away with. The only nation that is promised to be exterminated are the Edomites. All the other nations will continue to exist. Okay? So now, let's get the scripture first and foremost that the Bishop Nate is basing this breakdown of doctrine off. Okay? He is reading Revelation chapter 21 and verse 1, right? Now we read the scripture here. It says, "And I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea." Now, if you understand the scriptures, if you understand the precepts, right? I'm going to deal with this portion here, right? Where it says, "And there was no more sea." The sea in this verse is representing the nations, okay? How do we know this? If you go to Revelation, the 17th chapter, and the 15th verse, it lets you know that, right? I'm going to read it here. All right, so Revelation 17 and 15 says, "And he said unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the horse sitteth, are peoples, and multitudes, and nations, and tongues." So the sea, or the water, is representing the nations, okay, the heathen. And so since it says here back in Revelation that it says, "And there was no more sea," Bishop Nate is saying, okay, this means that eventually there will be no more heathen or no more nations in the world, that the Lord gonna do away with them. And that's just not true, man. Okay? It's not true. So, Bishop Nathaniel and you individuals of the IUIC, are you saying that the Most High is going to also create a new heaven, literally, and a new earth? If that's what you're saying? Because if you're saying that he's going to literally wipe out all the nations, right? Eventually, then you're saying the Most High is going to literally create a new heaven and then a brand new earth. Because it says the first heaven and the first earth were passed away. So that must mean that the Most High going to wipe out the planet Earth, wipe out the heavens, wipe out the spiritual realm, and just start all over from scratch, right? This is madness. This is complete madness. You have to understand when the Bible is being literal, being, direct and being literal. And also when the Bible is being poetic, okay, and speaking in code. And that's the problem that a lot of people have, especially Christians, all right? They read a scripture and they think that it's saying exactly that, you know? And this is not the case, man. The new heaven and the new earth is referring to the new rulership of the Israelites, a refreshed earth, okay? Not a brand new earth in the sense that the Most High going to just make a whole new world and a whole new heaven in the spiritual realm. No. Things are going to be refreshed, man. It's going to be the rulership of the Israelites. And when you read down, it goes into that, how the, John saw the holy city Jerusalem coming down out of heaven, right? Which represent the elect coming out the chariots and pretty much dominating the world, man. And the heathen will be here, bro. The earth is going to be here. This same earth that we have. Didn't John say in Revelation chapter 5 that we shall reign on the earth? Right? Revelation chapter 5 in verse 9, it says, no, excuse me. I get to the point. It says, Revelation 5 and 10, and had made us unto our God kings and priests, and we shall reign on the earth. All right? We're going to reign on the earth, man. This world you see right here, we're going to rule it, okay? Under the authority of Yahweh Shai the King. Now, when the destruction comes, right? The missiles, fire that Yahweh Shai is coming with, guess what? The world won't be completely destroyed, man. Because you read Revelation 18, it speaks about how the merchants, okay, who trade with America will be mourning the destruction of America. If the Most High is going to create a literal new heaven and a literal new earth, then how in the hell somebody going to be on the earth crying if it's gone? It don't make no sense. It doesn't make any sense, man. So you go to Revelation 18, right? Start at verse 9. It says, and the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and live deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they see the smoke of her burning. See that? When they see the smoke of her burning, man, if they're going to see it from the earth or out of space, where they going to be at? Come on, man. They're going to be on the earth. How do we know? Verse 10. Standing afar off for fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city. For in 1 hour is thy judgment come, and the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buy their merchandise anymore. So clearly there's going to be people still alive when America is destroyed, when the nukes are shot off and all hell has broken loose and Yahweh Shai and, and the angels has appeared, man. So the earth's still going to be here. Yes, it's going to be great destruction for Babylon and great other parts of the world, but the earth's going to abide forever. You're going to still have nation of people here on the planet, okay? And when we come down out of the chariots, right, those people who are left among the heathen, okay, they going into captivity, boy. They going right into slavery, okay? They will be gathered up, starting with the elites. Doesn't the scripture say that? That the elites are going to be thrown into prison, right? They're going to be thrown in jail. And then we're going to come and visit them, right? After a period of time. Isaiah 24, all right? Isaiah 24 and verse 21, it says, in that day, right, the Lord will punish the gods in the heavens and the proud rulers of the nations on earth. They will be rounded up and put in prison. They will be shut up in prison and will finally be punished. You see that? That's going to happen when the destruction comes. Verse 20 says what? The earth staggers like a drunk. It trembles like a tent in a storm. It falls and will not rise again, for the guilt of its rebellion is very hard. So this is obviously talking about the destruction, how the earth's going to rail to and fro like a drunkard. Clearly, it's talking about the nuclear destruction. If the world going to be destroyed doing that, how can we gather up people, the proud rulers of the nations, and throw them in jail, put them in captivity? How? It don't make no sense, man. On top of Yahushua being promised the heathen for an inheritance. Was he not? Right? You go to Psalms 2. Yahushua has promised the earth. He's promised the heathen for an inheritance. If there are no nations on the planet Earth, then he can't have that as an inheritance. Psalms 2 and 6, for the Lord declares, I have placed my chosen king on the throne in Jerusalem, on my holy hill. The king proclaims the decree. The Lord said to me, you are my son. Today I am become your father. Only ask, and I will give you the nations as your inheritance, and the whole earth as your possession. If the nation is going to be wiped out, brother, and done away with, how can Yahushua receive this blessing, this inheritance? Come on, man. It's not making sense. Did not the Lord say that our gates shall be open day and night in the kingdom, that the heathen may bring us their wealth? If they're done away with, who the hell gonna bring us stuff? Robots? Artificial intelligence? No, it's gonna be heathens. Them niggas gonna be coming and bringing us stuff, right? Isaiah 60:10 says, foreigners will come to rebuild your towns, and their kings will serve you. For though I have destroyed you in my anger, I will now have mercy on you through my grace. Your gates will stay open day and night to receive the wealth of many lands. The kings of the world will be led as captives in a victory procession. For the nation that refuse to serve you will be destroyed. We're going to judge them. But they ain't going to rebuild too hard. Trust and believe that. Okay? But the point being is that these heathens will be here, bro. Okay? They're going to be keeping our high holy days. Is it not written? Yes, that's written, bro. They're going to be keeping our high holy days. Right? Zechariah 14. We're going to restart at verse 16 says, in the end, the enemies of Jerusalem who survived the plague will go up to Jerusalem each year to worship the King, the Lord of heaven's armies, to celebrate the festivals of shelters. Any nation in the world that refuses to come to Jerusalem to worship the King, the Lord of heaven's armies, will have no rain. If the people of Egypt refuse to attend the festival, the Lord will punish them with the same plague that he sends on the other nations who refuse to go. Egypt and the other nations will all be punished if they don't go to celebrate the festivals of shelters, or the Feast of Tabernacles, right? Plain and simple. So they're going to be here, all right? They're going to be here. They're just going to be under our rule, under our authority, man. This is not that hard, bro. But anyway, that doctrine is flawed. It doesn't line up with prophecy. So, hey, man, it best not to teach that, you know. But if you're an individual to believe that stuff, hey, man, that's on you. But it's not of the Lord. All right? Shalom.